So hi everyone. Thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate your time spending the afternoon with us today. I'm Wendy Swanson, Partner Development Manager with AT&T. I've had the privilege of supporting TCG for the past 5 years. And I can tell you that the timing can't be better for you to be here learning about TCG, because TCG has made a significant investment in AT&T. Since joining the program direct in 2018, they have quickly become the largest producing master solution provider in the East region. So give it up. Thank you for all of you who have been a part of that. Give it up for TCG. That's really a huge accomplishment, and they're quickly gaining presence in the Central region and the West region as well, for those of you who have partners nationwide. When you look at the opportunity that you have working with TCG with the AT&T program, really there's no other carrier that matches the breadth of portfolio and products and services that AT&T offers. So whether it's our wireline and fiber strategy, our mobility, AT&T wireless mobility and IoT platforms, we have both premise-based and hosted VoIP options, to our world-class cybersecurity portfolio. It's all there for you. Not to mention our network integration ecosystem of third-party vendors, over 300 third-party providers that you can write on AT&T paper. So we're going to learn about a lot of those today, but it's really powerful for you guys to have that portfolio to offer to your customers. It puts you, each of those products and services gives you another discussion to enter into with your customer as a trusted advisor. So if we go to the next slide. So I just want to quickly show you guys how AT&T segments our accounts internally and how you guys can sell into them. So in our national business accounts, we have what we call regional business markets, which is our small to medium-sized businesses, over 6.5 million of those customers. And then we have our 56,000 roughly mid-market customers, which we call our select accounts. Those are 100% open for you guys to sell into. You can either partner with the direct AT&T teams in doing so, or you can go on your own. It's your choice. It's 100% open for you to sell into. If you sign on, a lot of you here are already signed on with TCG, but if you're learning about TCG and you become a sub-agent in the AT&T program with TCG, you will be assigned a dedicated AT&T channel manager and technical support, technical sales consultant to work with you to grow your AT&T business within the program. So that's new support that we've rolled out in 2020. We're very happy about that. But that support team can also introduce you to the direct AT&T teams. So that's a really great dynamic. You can make the choice depending on what opportunities you're working with and if that would benefit you. Going over to public sector and global accounts, public sector includes state and local government, municipalities, no federal. And then education falls within there. And then our global accounts. Those accounts are now restricted. However, we do have a process that we can request approval from the direct team. We don't have the authority in the channel. We don't have the decision making. Sometimes we're successful with it, and sometimes we're not. However, I will say, if you have relationships into those accounts and we're not successful in getting approval, TCG since December is now 100% fully on board with ACC Business. And so if you have relationships in there and we don't have approval to sell AT&T, through your TCG relationship, you can sell ACC Business to those customers. So that's really a great opportunity that you guys are coming into. Before we move on, Keith is here with us. He's one of our channel managers in the East region, and he's going to go through some of the more commonly sold fiber products, and then SD-WAN and NI. But are there any questions about what I've just talked about before we move on? Okay.
Before we get started, I wanted to introduce myself. Keith Lytle. I've been with AT&T Bell South in South Florida for probably about 20 years now. To touch on what Wendy said, Wendy and I spent the last year infusing my knowledge, her knowledge, into TCG's back office. So their back office is really ramped up, and they have 6 members now, or is it 7? I know they just brought somebody.
Now.
They have 7.
8 they just brought on.
Right, 8. So they have 8 dedicated ladies in the back office, I don't think there's any men yet, right? No men, it's all that are dedicated to you guys if you're writing business through AT&T. And then I'm available for you guys, as Wendy said, if you're a sub-agent of TCG in South Florida, you have me as a resource. I can do pricing, I can go see customers, I'm available for presentations. You would just get in touch with your AT&T channel manager, Dax, Nate, or Tom over here, and they can bring me in if I'm needed. So the first slide we want to discuss is if you're not familiar with AT&T Business Fiber, this is our, I don't think there's any Comcast folks in here, this is our Comcast Buster. This is our, are we? No, I love Comcast. I know a bunch of people work there. But no, this was rolled out a couple years ago to combat the cable providers, and basically what it is it runs on our dedicated internet access backbone, but there's no SLAs with this product. So this is why the product is a little bit cheaper than what our normal pricing you would see from dedicated internet access. You can get a full gig up to for $600, $670 a month. We have asymmetrical and symmetrical speeds. And the good thing, if you guys are in South Florida, AT&T has spent a lot of money putting fiber down on the southeast coast. So if you're here, you got a really good shot of this being available for most, if not all, your customers in South Florida. All right, and again, this is our dedicated internet access. It's the same platform as the AT&T Business Fiber, but this has SLAs. It has a managed Cisco router available for them. This is for customers that want, uptime is a premium. They have full business SLAs associated with this. So this is available almost everywhere in South Florida. You're looking at a full gig with a router for just under $2,000. I know this is a real big, go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just back to the ABF.
Yeah, ABF, yep.
So has anything changed in terms of like how you guys bring that into the building, like criteria, stuff like that? Like if we have a customer that's there now,
nothing's changed that I'm aware of. It's still the same. It's still the same environment that it has been for the last 2 or 3 years. Is there anything specific that?
No, I'm just curious about in terms of you lighting up. Still 8.
It's five offices, right? If what he's touching on is if you run across a building that's not lit for this, there's an anchor program where you can request a building be lit from AT&T. It's sent. You have to have at least 5 tenants in the building, and we can raise the flag, say, hey, we'd like engineering to come do a site walk if this is going to be worth it for AT&T to light up this building.
We'll hit on that with Geo.
Oh, there's another slide coming with that. So that is an option as well. Thank you. Yeah.
Can I give you after this? Because I've, since last February, been trying to light a building in Stewart.
Okay.
Way more than 5, and I hit a roadblock for a year. Can I give you afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know if it's been submitted for anchor build?
It has.
Okay.
Back in February of 19.
Okay. Sometimes they take a while, but if you've done that, it's with engineering. So, but yeah, we can definitely follow up on that. I know this is a busy slide, but I just want to point out a couple things. Anybody been doing this for 20 years? Telecom for 20 years? Anybody? There we go. I know. So, how much was a PRI 20 years ago?
About $1,200.
$1,200? All right. $2,000 up in the $2,000 side. You're for including 10 megs of internet access, 23 concurrent calls, you're looking at $555. This is our business voice over IP product. And obviously you can see there's multiple layers, it goes up to a gig now. It doesn't stop at 250. So you can get a dedicated internet access with up to 46 channels, 2 PRIs available at for example, 250 with 46 call paths on it is just under $1,600. This is available almost everywhere in South Florida where we can get dedicated internet access.
Can you deliver analog channels too? Or
Yes.
it's gotta be PRI?
Thank you very much. I just made an example out of PRI. Thank you for bringing that up. It can support 3 different handoffs: True SIP, PRI, and we can hand off analog. The only stipulation with analog is that it can hand off 22 physical ports on the equipment. That's a limitation of the equipment. There was another question in the back. Oh, he's got food in his mouth, sorry. You want me to come back to you? All right.
I'm good, thank you.
You're good, okay. So AT&T, we do, I hear we're the largest internet provider. It comes and goes on who you want to talk to, but the truth of the matter is we see a lot of data, right? A lot of IP data, a lot of internet traffic worldwide. So it would make sense for us to put our foot in the cybersecurity arena. And so just, I want to touch on, we have a full array of security products available to your customers. It would take up way more than I can put on here, but if your customer currently has internet access with AT&T, or some of this is without internet access from AT&T, it's agnostic, internet agnostic. We have DDoS defense, cloud web security services. This gives the customer a portal to block, whitelist, blacklist different websites, and they get reports on it. We have premise-based firewalls, Cisco's, Fortinet's, Meraki's, Checkpoint that we can sell to customers. And then we have secure email gateway that filtering spam and scanning emails for credit cards, any phishing out there that we can provide as well. If you have a customer that currently has MPLS from AT&T, we have a product called Network-Based Firewall where it builds a port out to the internet that each location has access to, and it doesn't require a local loop, so it has some redundancy built in. That's a little specialized because it has to ride on top of AT&T MPLS, but it is an option. Anything or nothing with AT&T, we can do vulnerability scanning, and we have AT&T security consulting available that will customize whatever your customer needs as far as the security. We'll sit down and meet with a customer. That gets a little high level, a little custom, but we definitely offer that as well. Any questions about that? Okay. We have an SD-WAN offering currently. Our primary lead provider on our lead offering is VeloCloud. We can support up to 1 gig all the way down to 10 megs, and here's some pricing, the price range for that. And we just came out at the beginning of February. We have LTE backup as a tertiary, as a third failover option on the SD-WAN device. But it takes about 2 days to get contracts for this. It's our lead offer. We use VeloCloud. Any questions there? Okay, this is what I wanted to get to. You guys are the first people to see this slide, and Wendy touched on it. We have a whole network of AT&T behind AT&T. It's called network integration. If AT&T doesn't provide it, we have partners and relationships with folks that can. And this is all of our current providers that we partner with. So if you're looking to sell Avaya, Cisco, Box, Mitel, Cradlepoint, the Fortinet, the list is long. Honeywell, some of these I don't even recognize, but we can provide services to customers that you wouldn't even think to come to AT&T about. I'll give you a primary example. We had a customer down in South Florida, healthcare. They purchased 140 locations, a company that had 140 locations. There's 3 IT guys on that staff. How long would you think it would take them to inventory those 140 sites that they just acquired with 3 IT guys? Not possible, right? So we were talking to them. You say, hey, what are some gaps? What are you guys struggling with now? And the growth said, we can't inventory the site. We said, we got a partner that can do that for you. They were floored. It took 2 months to come up with the scope of work, but customers happy. We got one of our partners more than happy to do that. We can do that for you. We put that on AT&T paper. Everybody got paid. We have another provider on here, customers, so cybersecurity, ramping up. They're ramping up their current IT staff, sending them to training, but they can't send them all at the same time. So it's going to take them about a year to get fully certified and ramped up. They're like, we need a security consultant on staff for at least a year. Can you guys do that? Absolutely, we can do that. And one of our preferred providers down here is Randstad. Has anybody heard of Randstad? What they do? They are staff augmentation provider. They're nationwide. So if you have a business need and you can't do it as a customer, and how many customers down here in South Florida are, I don't have enough resources to do that. That's on next year's budget. That's for next year. Can't afford to do it, right? We've all heard that before. These guys do staff augmentation, anywhere from a month to a year up to permanent. And you can write that on AT&T paper and get paid for it.
How does AT&T get involved with this?
I'm sorry,
How do you guys get involved with that outsourcing?
that we have a whole group of behind it at AT&T. Their whole division, their whole purpose of living is going out finding these partners that will partner with AT&T. And how we interface with them, we send them a statement of work, a lead, an email, say, hey guys, we have this opportunity. Do we have a partner that'll do it? And then from at that point, they'll hit yes, no, maybe. They'll hand it off and bring the partner on board, and the partner will actually interface with the customer to develop a scope of work. But we have this, and we can talk about this later if somebody has an opportunity that normally you wouldn't think AT&T would do. We can do it.
Yeah, and it's great for you guys because it opens you up to all of those portfolios that now you can get paid on through the AT&T program through
Right.
TCG. We also have a 2x FIF on colo. Colocation falls under our NI platform, and so that's going on now through 2020. That's not going to end.
We have Equinix,
QTS
QTS,
and
Evoke.
that's what
There's about six different providers nationwide, globally too, actually, as well.
guys, what's nice with that too on the co-location is if you've got a customer that's an enterprise AT&T customer, typically they're not going to go with anything else but an AT&T solution.
Yeah.
So you could actually move them if they're tired of maybe one co-location provider to like an Equinix or it counts all as net new revenue. So you
Yep.
basically can sell them. So if they want to make a move from Equinix to maybe QTS,
Or if they want redundant,
they want
Great
a
colo.
connection or something else they can. Did you
Right.
touch on NetBond too?
No, I didn't. So,
Quick question about so as far if the customer were to go, we would need additional resources, we go to Randstad. Now, does that show up on the customer's invoicing as well, or is it under the company, or the provider?
it's AT&T.
Okay.
It's 100% AT&T paper. The customer may, when they're developing the scope of work, they may get an email from Randstad or somebody else, these other providers, but the paperwork and the invoice has AT&T on it.
Okay, so what I mean as far as, does it stay up under the agent, for instance, if Blue Logic saying, we're using the ecosystem of AT&T to provide those additional as a service?
Yes, right.
Is that something that stays under, like, Blue Logic's umbrella, or would that be transferred to the customer? Is what I'm.
They are an AT&T customer of record.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So you are an authorized representative to sell that service through the TCG.
Gotcha. Okay, so.
Correct. I'll give you a real quick example. The lead offer with VeloCloud is our lead SD-WAN offer. However, we can do Meraki, Riverbed, it's up there somewhere, I forget, Silver Peak. So we actually can resell 5 different providers with, actually it's 6. Fortinet just came aboard, sorry. So even if they don't want VeloCloud, we can still bring an SD-WAN offering to the table.
You guys can actually get to Fortinet voice too through Fortinet as well.
Yeah.
There's some big deals going down with that. If you guys are familiar, like using Fortinet, that's definitely good on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dax.
All right, yeah, so, I mean, we don't really like to do product training in these sessions, but what we like to do is show you the full gamut of opportunity that you have with AT&T, so I hope you've seen that today. But we have a really powerful tool that we've launched last year and we just made upgrades to this year called GeoLink. GeoLink is our fiber, I need your mic.
Oh, I know, I'm sorry.
GeoLink's our fiber qualification tool. So basically you plug in an address, the way it works, and it will map it for you. If there's not fiber at that address, it's going to show you, you can zoom out on the map and it'll show you buildings around that address where there are fiber. But for buildings that there are fiber in, if you see those green dots on the right of the blue box, it's going to tell you every AT&T fiber product that's available in that building. And if you see in the near fiber, what you'll notice on this example is that there's fiber in this building, dedicated fiber, but there's not what we call ABF, which Keith touched on, AT&T Business Fiber, which is our fiber broadband service. And this gets to what you guys were asking about, Brendan. The fiber, the light green status means that there's no ABF in that building, but it's eligible for anchor build, which means you go to TCG, they submit an anchor build request for that building, when it gets approved, you are an exclusive seller into that building of ABF. So meaning in this tool, AT&T will not change that light green status for 1 month. You get exclusivity to go into that building and say, hey, AT&T's just launched ABF in this building, and go around and sell it to all the customers there.
Where up here would I see that qualifies for ABF program?
So on a different location, if ABF were in that building,
Right.
you would see ABF.
I've seen that, but I didn't know we could actually build it, get permission to build ABF.
If it has the light, if ABF is not on that list and you see a light green indicator, that's right here.
That's light green, okay, it must be shade blind.
That's light green. It says light green. It's actually the same color green, but that's your eligibility to go in and request an anchor build for ABF service.
Okay.
Light
So, go ahead.
When does the 30-day exclusive window start? When we sign the contract for the building or when you actually turn the building up? Because it sounds to me, from what he was saying, there can be a pretty big spread. between
Yeah, so
those.
depending on the state that you're asking for the anchor build in, they all have different timelines. And, you know, in that, we have to kind of look deeper into Brendan's example to see what's going on with that location. There could be, you know, different builds,
No, but let's
it's
say. I
If it
signed
gets
the building
lit.
up
From the
tomorrow,
time-
You guys did it, when would my 30-day exclusive?
from the time the building is lit.
From the.
They will
when you
not
finally Turn
change-
it on, not the build up.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that means every direct sales team that's looking at that building, every solution provider that's using GeoLink will not see ABF in that building for 1
For
month.
30 days.
For 30 days while you go and talk to those customers. So this is a really powerful qualification tool for you guys. The way you get access to it is to become a sub-agent with TCG and register in the AT&T program. So, you know, I encourage you after the presentations today to see Tom and folks here at TCG to learn how to do that, because we will continually be rolling out training. You can also you can filter, you can use, it's not all on this screenshot, but you can use filters and go by zip code, and you can export data by zip code to literally get our fiber lit building list, you know, at your fingertips for prospecting. So that's the last thing we wanted to make you aware of, because that's really, really powerful for a tool for you guys to have, and it's at your fingertips through TCG. So that's all we had. Are there any questions on what we covered?
Maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
You just send a request to TCG, or do we get access to it?
So when you have to go to TCG's back office and ask them to register you as a sub-agent in the AT&T program, and then Melissa in the back office sends that in, and then you get a direct email from AT&T Alliance with your login credentials. It gives you access to the Alliance portal, and GeoLink's one of the tools in that portal. So you definitely want access to that, and that's through being a sub-agent with TCG.
How are you?
Hi. I'm good.
He's back.
How you doing?
Quick question, is there a way you can send that out, part of that deck, that shot, that page, so we can remember all that good stuff?
We could send the deck out.
Yeah.
Tom has the deck, yeah.
Awesome,
That's absolutely. There's nothing proprietary in there.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And as the-
Just a disclaimer on the pricing, it doesn't apply to all locations.
Right.
And what I've heard is that the Fiber Plus, there's considerably more access to that, right now, in the South Florida footprint?
Fiber Plus, meaning,
Well, that there's more of that available through AT&T.
so.
Fiber fast? Fiber fast?
I'm sorry?
Fiber fast?
Yes.
Yeah, so our fiber proliferation continues, and it's very strong. But yes, the Fiber Fast is basically, when you place an order, if it comes up as a Fiber Fast location, that means we have all of our termination gear already in the building, and they'll give you an install interview. It's an interval. It's either 15,
10 or 5?
10,
5?
sometimes 5.
Yeah.
So we have a problem on the other side where sometimes we're installing too fast. So
Yeah.
the back office, TCG's back office will let you know that so you can prepare the customer. But
to
on
go.
some locations,
Yeah.
they're lighting right up. And
Right.
the other thing I'll say is that in out of region, out of footprint, our pricing is becoming extremely competitive. So for those of you who have partners outside of the AT&T footprint, we're seeing markets where we have interconnect agreements where we're seeing in-region pricing
Yeah.
in those what people traditionally think of as out-of-region locations.
We run into that all. That's a pretty popular question. Hey, we're not going to be moved into the building for a year, but we need a BIC engineer to go out there. it's hard for AT&T to get somebody moving without an order.
Right.
So what we normally do is place an order, and the BIC engineer shows up, and then we cancel the order. There's no, if that's done within a week or two, AT&T won't even charge you for the site visit. So, I mean, it's kind of clunky, but that's the only solution we have currently.
We haven't had to cancel any orders.
Right.
Manipulated, if you want to use that word.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, we're fortunate to live in South Florida because it's all lit down here. But if you start getting outside of South Florida, we run into that situation a lot more, where customers are a year out and want to know where to put the fiber and stuff like that. So.
Good to know, thank you.
Yep. No. Thank you. Any questions? All
Thanks,
right.
everyone. for
Thank
your
you very
time.
much.
Appreciate it.